I'm going to eating out, and I don't know if today were our class or not.
Oh, so you're not so sure if we have class today. Okay. So of course we do have class same time as of yesterday, and then tomorrow we'll be going to 9. So that would
Yes.
be 9 o'clock p.m. VNT. That will be tomorrow. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's just only a reminder. Okay.
Okay.
So you're in a hurry. You're in a hurry.
I'm just wet because this is outside raining, so
Oh.
really wetting now.
Yeah, but actually here in the Philippines it's going to be hot. It's very hot in here. Okay, it's something like summer today here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So the weather condition is hot in here. Okay, so let me share our screen now. Okay, so don't in a hurry. Okay. Okay, I hope you can see the presentation, Koi. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So we are going to continue our lesson. Okay. And before we are going to do this one, let's have a review first of yesterday's discussion that we have. So it's all about
The
writing. So the same title of the lesson, that is man-made environment. Okay. And we are on the writing part. And just like what I have told you yesterday, that we will be going to tackle in here different graphs and charts interpretation. Okay?
Mhm.
So we should have to understand that there would be different kinds of graphs. So we have the so-called line graph, we have the bar graph, we have also the so-called pie graph, and we have also table graph or chart. And we should have to understand that every graphs, every charts that we have, like for example, if you're talking about a particular line graph, okay, so we will be going to understand the so-called vertical line and horizontal line. So the vertical line is represented by a y-axis, and the horizontal line is represented by an x-axis. Okay?
Okay.
So again, the line that is something that is pointing up, okay, that would be vertical. And then the line that is a straight line, that would be horizontal line. Okay? So in this particular line graph in here, or a bar graph in here, so we will be going to understand also the so-called vertical and horizontal. Why do we need to do that? Because these are also very important in the interpretation of our graph. Okay? So using the scanning technique, so we can be able to answer the following questions. Okay? So the the instruction in here would be, let's try to study the graphs. So graph 1, graph 2, graph 3, graph 4. And after that, we will be answering questions from 1 to 12. Okay? And using the so-called scanning technique, we can be able to do them. Okay. Question number 1, which regards to this graph.
Sure.
Okay? So this one, yes, chart or graph, which is what we call a bar graph. Okay? Now, question number 1, what does the title say the graph is about in this particular bar graph? So what do you think would be the title of this graph?
It's a the title is about world most expensive cities, and all
Yes.
about
Okay.
$1.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, the answer for that is just only world's most expensive cities. So
Yes.
this one was this one was taken, the data was taken from in 2015. Okay, so this was taken in 2015. Okay, and of course, the subtitle of this is how much can you buy for $1 million? Okay, so that would be in a form of question, but the title per se, okay, is all about world's most expensive cities. Okay, now the title sometimes, or not sometimes, but most of the time, can be found on the top of the graph. Remember that, Khoi? But there are also graphs that the title can be found at the bottom part. So make sure that if you happen to see graphs, make sure to look at or scan directly the title. Okay, scan directly the title. After scanning the title, scan the data. Okay, because the data says only about the y and the x axis. So there would be data from the y axis, there would be data from the x axis. So those are just going to, you should have to take note because the data from the y axis and the x axis would help you to determine what's going to be the answer, right? Okay, look at this one. So we have numbers, then we have places in here. Okay? Okay, question number 2. What does the vertical axis describe? Vertical. Okay, vertical, that means it's standing. Okay? So what says the vertical axis or the y-axis? Okay, other known as the y-axis, describe.
It is right. Is this right about buying right? Buying right? How much dollar per meters? Right?
Okay, per meter. Yes,
For me.
because yes, this one is a symbol for meter. Okay. Now look at the vertical line. So the vertical line says that it's the costs. Okay. It's the costs per square meter in US dollars. Okay. Because if you're talking about buying price, that would also mean that would also mean costs in general. Okay, take note of that, ha? Buying price in general can be called as the so-called costs. Okay? So, if we try to put them into writing or into report, we are going to say that the costs per square meter in US dollars. Okay? So that would be the exact answer for that. Okay, next. Question number 3. Okay, I'm going to write the answer, huh? So it's going to be long, but of course, we just had to put it in there. Okay, so the world's most expensive cities. From the title alone, right? The world's most expensive cities. And the the vertical axis states that the
About buying
costs,
$5 per meters.
yeah. So the costs per
Meter.
square, okay,
Square meters.
meter, okay, in US dollars. Okay?
Okay.
Next, what about number 3? What does the horizontal axis describe?
It is right about the city. The name is
Yes, as
yes.
simple as that. So we are talking about
The
cities,
city.
right? So what are
Yes.
those cities? Monaco, Hong
Monaco, Hong
Kong,
Kong, London, New York, and
and
Singapore.
Singapore. Okay. What do the columns or bars represent?
Represents. Um,
Yes.
it just presents the whole the column. It
Yes.
presents
The
the
bars. The
ability.
bars.
The
Column.
course.
Yeah, it's column.
The
These are
course of
columns.
the fixed dollar per meters of each city
Yes. So the answer for this is the costs. Okay.
per
The costs.
square meters
Okay. Per
of each city.
square meter. Okay. In each city. Okay. So that would be the answer. Exactly would be the answer. Next. Which is the tallest and shortest?
Mhm. Hmm. In shortest ball.
The shortest, that means
Shortest ball is the
the
Monaco. And
lesser, right? Okay, so
yes,
the answer is, okay,
Monaco.
so we have to say shortest, okay, that would be
Monaco.
Monaco, okay?
And the tallest, I'm not sure between
Tallest,
New York and Singapore, but
that's
approximately,
correct. We have the same, they are tied,
yes,
okay?
approximately. But I consider
Yes,
New York a bit higher.
yes, okay. So that would be
New York.
New York slash
Yeah.
Singapore. Okay, approximately they have the same number. Okay, they have
Mm-hmm.
the same number, roughly or approximately. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
next, how do the bars compare to one another?
Compare one to the another. Hmm?
Yes, so that
That's-
is how we are going to compare to one another. So that means you will going to say something about Monaco, Hong Kong, London, New York, Singapore.
Yes. First we add the sorted feature of Monaco. Then
Okay,
about the medium, we ask about Hong Kong and London in approximately. And
okay.
the last one, we will compare New York with Singapore. Yes,
Okay,
that's
which
the equation.
is, we can say that New
In order,
York and Singapore are the two most expensive cities in the world, approximately. Okay, and we can also say that Monaco, Hong Kong, and London roughly are very similar with each other, right?
mhm,
Okay, so but Hong Kong and London are very similar to each other. Okay, so that means second to New York and Singapore, we can say that second to the most expensive world cities would be Hong Kong and London, and last would be Monaco. Okay.
mhm.
Okay. And out from these answers, you can be able to form a paragraph now. You can be able to form an essay out from your answers. Am I right?
Okay.
Yeah. But what we did was we just scan so that we can be able to say the interpretation, because it says in here there would be guide questions, so therefore we have to scan. Do not what do you want, do not make an essay, do not make a paragraph unless you are told to do so, right?
Mhm.
Okay, in this particular exercise in here, we just need to answer the questions. That's all about the graph. Okay, and after that,
Yes.
no more. Okay, no more, no less. Okay, next, about the second graph in here. So that would be number 7. Now, again, let's try to look at the graph. Um, what is one? Quickly, okay? Try to look at the graph quickly. Look at the y-axis. Look at the x-axis. Okay, what are the things that you should have to understand? After that, we need to
We
answer the
can
questions.
answer the
Okay,
question.
same question with number 1.
Yes.
What
The first
does
and seven.
yes?
The
Okay.
title say the graph is about home ownership rates in selected European countries.
Countries. That's correct. Okay, simply. the home
Yes.
ownership rates in selected European countries. What does the vertical axis describe?
Vertical say it is right about the percentage of home ownership rates. Yes.
Okay, so percentage of people
Who owner
owning their
house.
own homes.
Yes.
Okay, so percentage of people owning their own homes. So that would be the
Mm-hmm.
vertical axis. What does the horizontal axis describe?
Hmm. It describe the percentage of people of owners house in each country.
We're not representing the percentage.
Percentage. Oh no, all the country. Yes.
Yes, yes. So it's just only some of
The
the
first
European
European country.
countries. Okay,
Oh.
why is it some? Because not all European countries we are talking about. So it's just only some of the European countries. Next, what do the highest points of the line show?
Main show.
Yes, the highest first.
The show the race of people who own a house, right?
Okay, so what do the highest points of the line show? This
Oh,
this is a line.
Romania.
So
Romania
yes, so that means Romania
had the
has
highest
the
percentage.
highest or the
Percent
largest percentage of
of people on
homeowners. Yes. And the
the
lowest,
lowest one is Switzerland.
the
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay, good. Next, what is the general trend of the line? That would be number 11. What is the general trend of the line?
UK and French.
Okay, again.
I think UK's and France is the general trends.
Okay, actually, the answer for this is most of the countries. Okay, it can be Italy, UK, France, Germany, Switzerland. Okay, have similar figures roughly. Okay, they have roughly similar figures except for Romania, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that would be the answer. Next, are there any sharp decreases or increases?
No,
Why?
mm, because they know um there are no certainly change in the percentage. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they know certainly certain. Yes, they know certain change.
Okay, what do you think? Is it increasing or decreasing?
Decrease the increase is both
Yes, of course, it's
increase.
going up,
Yes.
right? From the lower down, going up. Let's say, for example, if Romania is here and then it goes up like that over there, so that means that would be increasing, right? But
Yes.
since from 100 down to 40, right? So that means it's decreasing, okay? But Romania has much higher percentage of homeowners than the other countries. So
Mm,
there would be no sharp decrease, okay? There would be no
yes.
sharp decrease. There would be no also sharp increase, right? So it's just only um decreasing. We can say that it's not abrupt, it's not sharp. Okay? Because look at this one. From 80, it's going to be 60, then the same, and then going to be roughly 50, right? We can say maybe, or 55, 56, something like that. And then after that, it's 40. Okay? So it's not that sharp decrease. Okay, Koi? Okay,
Okay.
so that would be the second graph. Actually, it's very, very simple. Now, what do you think would be the things that you should have to understand in answering the questions, Koi? That is similar to the bar graph, and the line graph. What do you think would be the similarities in answering the questions from the bar graph and the line graph? What are the common questions?
Common questions. I think
Yes, that's also the same in the bar graph and in the line graph. They're almost the
it's
same, right?
it's yeah, all the same.
Okay, so that means we should have to what? To take note that what? Title is
Title,
very important.
process.
What else? The
Um,
datas in the
of
vertical axis and
or
horizontal axis are
the
also
highest and
important.
lowest
Yes, the lowest points, the highest points,
in
okay,
general.
that would also be important. And of course, the tallest, okay, it can also be highest, lowest, that can also be tallest, or that would also be shortest. It's all the same. The word is just only or its similarities, right? Similarity. Why? If you're talking about highest, we also talk about tallest, right? If you're
Yes,
talking about lowest, we are talking about the shortest. So it's quite the same. But
yes.
the word is not, okay? But synonymous to each other.
Yeah,
Okay?
it is meaning. Yes.
Yes, the same meaning. And you should have to understand also the general trend, if it has, if it is increasing, if it is decreasing. So those are the things that we should have to take note. Okay, in interpreting the graph. Okay?
Okay.
Questions with this?
No
No more.
question.
Okay, next. Let's try to do the pie graph now. Okay. So again, read the
Mm,
pie graph quickly using scanning technique. And then after that, let's try to answer the question.
okay.
Same thing. Okay, the first question would be,
The
what
title.
does the title say the graph is all about? So, what do you
So
think would be the title?
I think this is always how salaries in selected country.
That's correct. Okay, no other
Yes.
title we can see in here. It's just only average house size in selected countries. Okay, next. What do the segments represent? Now, take note of the word
Assessment.
segment. Okay, what does it mean when we say segment?
Let me searching for the Google.
Okay. Do not research that one anymore. I'm going to give you. Okay. So part or parts.
Oh, it means segment. It means the large group is divided into a small group.
Grouped or parts. Okay. So we can also say that group. Okay. Like for example, this one is first segment, second segment or grouped or part of the pie, right? Like for example, the pie we're eating, right?
Yeah.
So you are going to, if let's say for example, if you have 10 members of the family and you are going to buy a pie, then you are going to group them into 10 equal parts, right? So
Yes.
you will going to group them 10 equal parts. So that means segment is a part or parts or grouped. Okay? Okay, now look at the segments. The segments there has its own number, okay, or data, every segment. And look at also the color because sometimes there would be questions like what the color orange represents, what's the color black represent, what's the color green represents, what's the color blue represents, and what's the color red represents. Sometimes, okay, not most of the time, okay. But in this particular question, what do the segments represent? It's all about what?
It's about this our Sahab sign.
Again, look at
It's
this.
it all
We have
represent about the average house size in each country.
Okay, so the answer, yes, the answer for that one would be different countries. right? Why? Because look at the colors. So this one represents Canada, represents US, the green is Australia, the blue is Hong Kong, and the red, this one is red or pink, or what is this one? Fuchsia? I don't know. Okay, so it's either pink or red. So it would be Japan. Okay, so that means the segments here. Okay, that would be that represents countries. Okay, Koi. So represents countries. Next, number 15. Which is the largest segment?
Yes. I think the three group is kind of approximately similar inside.
Okay,
First one Australia, the second one USA, and the last one in Canada.
okay. So actually would be Australia. Okay, Australia. And then after that would be,
That's USA.
okay, USA. Okay.
Yes.
Next,
That's
the smallest one. That would be,
Canada.
okay, that would be the smallest segment.
Okay. The smallest segment is Hong Kong.
Okay, so
Oh,
that would
so I
be,
misunderstood with the question 16.
yeah. Okay, so that would be
Hong Kong
Hong Kong and
and Japan.
Japan. Okay, so roughly, okay. But of course, how many percent would be the smallest one is just only Hong Kong. Following after that would be Japan. Okay, the rest, the three segments in here, the Canada, the USA, and Australia, they have roughly the same or similar when it comes to numbers. Okay? Next. Number 16. Are some segments similar in size?
Yes.
Okay. What are those countries have similar sizes?
USA and Canada approximately similar.
Okay. So, okay. Actually, Australia and
USA.
USA. Okay. So roughly USA and Australia would be roughly similar in size. And that's it. See? So you can be able to interpret them now. Next, look at this table graph. So this one now is a table graph. Okay. 17 question. Look at the tables. Now, in table, this is what you are going to understand in the table. The table, or the data that you can find on top most of the table would be the title. Okay? And then after that one, in that table, there would be tables, columns. Okay? First column, the country. The second column would be the size. Okay? And that's it. So we don't have here the so-called y-axis, and we don't have here the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. So it's just only column 1, what that represents, column 2, what that represents. Okay, question number 17. What does the title say about the table?
Of house are in selected European country.
Of course. Okay, very easy. Next, how many columns are there?
There are total. There is a total of 8 country.
Okay, but how many columns? We're talking of columns again.
Column. Yes. 2 column.
Yes, so we have only 2 columns. So we call this one as column. So we have 2 columns. And what do they represent?
Participants of each country had its size.
Okay, so that means they're represented by country and the size. Next, which country has the biggest average house size?
Mm, I think it's Denmark and Greece.
Correct. Okay. Only one. So that would be Denmark. Okay. Because we are talking only of the biggest.
Ah,
What
okay.
about which country has the smallest average house size?
Italy.
Okay. So that would be Italy. Okay. And then which countries have a similar average house size?
France and no, Denmark and Greece had a similar
Oh,
house
actually,
size.
you're right.
Yes,
France,
and Greece,
France, and
Denmark, Greece. Oh,
that's the
Germany,
highest. So roughly,
Germany,
Germany and
France.
France. Okay? Because as you can see in here, it's just only this one is 112 and 109. So roughly 9, 10, 11, 12. So there would be 3 meters difference. Okay?
Okay.
The France and Germany. Okay? And then, oh, we answered them all. And that
Mhm.
is it. Right,
Easy.
boy?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, interpreting data is just very simple. All you need to do is, if you have the idea about the y-axis and the x-axis, so you can be able to tell that if we are talking about bar graph, if we're
Minecraft.
talking about line graph, now for a pie graph, take note of the word segment. Okay? And for the table graph, take note of the columns. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
columns, columns. And that is it. So once you master that one, you can be able to interpret them very quickly. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Now it's about time for us to have a sample answer, okay, in a form of essay type, right?
My God,
Okay.
samples.
So this one is in a form of essay. We already knew how to answer using scanning technique. Now this time, we are going to write them. Okay, Khoi? So,
Okay.
the sample answer describes the pie chart and the table in exercise number 2. Okay? Pie chart and the table. Okay. Sample answer. Please, I want you to take note of the things in here. Okay, what are the things that we should have to understand in answering this one? Now, look at this, Khoi? It's very important that the information you provide in your answer accurately reflects the information given in the text. Now, what does it mean?
Uh, it means that we can. I think it had the same formats as the text.
Yeah, actually, whatever would be your answer in here, that would also be the same from the
Yes.
table. Okay? Do not go beyond. Let's say, for example, if you are talking about Australia, give accurate the same answer in interpreting the data. Do not create 300 in here, 200 in here, because that would be far from the reality. So whatever would be uh, the datas, that would also be reflected in your answer. Got it, Koy? Now,
Got
according in here, rewrite the sample answer correcting any errors in the data. Okay, that is what we are talking about because sometimes the datas, okay, are not the same with the one that we answered just while ago. That's why it's very important that the datas you answered is also the same with your essay report.
mm-hmm.
Okay? Mm.
Okay.
So look at this one. The pie chart and table provide information about the average house size
Work.
worldwide. According to the pie chart, the Australians have the most space with the average house being 214 meter. This is perhaps because it is such a large country. So the second largest houses are in Canada with the average size being 201 meter. The country with the smallest houses is Hong Kong with residences being an average of just 45 meters. So what do you think would be our answer in here, Koi? Do we have is it do we have a wrong answer in here? So let's try to check them.
Hmm. I think provide information with
Hmm?
um worldwide. I don't think it's wrong.
So what do you think would be?
Letter two, two, three.
Okay, number one is the pie chart, and the pie chart provides information. We do not include the table in here, right? Because the
Yes.
pie chart, oh, look at this one, the pie chart, okay, provides information about the average house size in selected countries, okay? And the table in the
Hmm.
average house size in selected
Yes.
European
Yeah.
countries. We do not say again, okay, look at this. The pie chart and the table provide information about the average house size worldwide. Okay? Is it
Okay.
worldwide? No, it's not worldwide because it's just only selected countries in the pie graph, and
European.
in the table, it's the European countries, not worldwide. Okay? So therefore, we are going to say the pie chart. So we have to, this is what we're going to do, Koi, huh? We have to specifically um, define first the pie chart. So the pie chart provides information about the average house size in
Worldwide.
selected countries. Right? Right, Skoy? Did you got
Okay.
it?
Got it.
And okay, and the table, we do not say again average house size because it's all the same, huh?
Yes.
We already mentioned about average house size. So therefore, we do not mention again average house size. So we just have to say the pie chart provides information about the average house size in selected countries. That's the pie graph. While or and the table in selected European
Country.
countries. Okay?
Okay.
Next. So this one is correct. This one is correct. According to the pie chart, the Australians have the most space with the average house being 214. Is this correct? Let's see. Australia. So according to the pie graph, is it correct? 214 meter or square meters? Yes. So 214 square meter. So that is correct. This
Yes.
is perhaps because it is such a large country. That would be correct. The second largest houses are in, is it in
Canada.
Canada?
Hmm.
No. Okay. So that would be in
In largest in USA.
USA. So, of course, we need to correct this one. Okay? We need to write it here. U is A. Okay?
Okay.
Now, this one, Knight selected worldwide, but the correct answer is in here is selected, what's that? Selected countries. Okay, do not say size worldwide. So only selected countries. Okay,
Okay.
next. So with the average size of 201 square meter. Correct, right? That is USA. Next,
Hmm.
the country with the smallest houses in Hong Kong, with residences being an average of just 45 square meter. Is
Wait, I
it
have
correct?
an
Hong Kong?
question. I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the grammatical structure which resident being an average of just 45 square meter?
What is
Resident being the grammatical knowledge of the sentence with resident being an average. Why we use
with
resident plus being?
residences? Again. Why is it we need to use being?
Yes, residences with being.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, if you're talking about with residences being an average of, okay, that would be correct. Why is it being? Because we're talking about residences. And residences it's not a people, right? It's not a person. So therefore we can use being for that. Can we
Hmm.
use another term for this with residences?
I think this is kind of mm, inverse inversion.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember with which regards to this one, but this one
Yeah,
is
I
correct.
think I think this is some kind of summary in grammatical. If with Ben finish we got which resident who is on average of just and so we
We have to use being,
omit
okay?
the who and the is and set out and so that we can
Residences.
reply
Yeah.
with being.
No, no. If we are going to use who are, who is, we're talking about person. But since we're talking about this one, residences, we are talking about a place, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, let's say, for example, if you are in that particular place, you are going to say being. You are being in that place, right?
Okay.
So you have to say being because you are there in that place. Okay, Khoi? Uh,
Okay.
we cannot say that with residences. Um, actually, I cannot say something if you're going to replace being with another word. Can you think of a word that can be replaced in being in there? With residences,
Mm,
with an average of, no, we cannot
no.
say with. It's
Wait.
just only being Khoi. Okay? So therefore, this one is correct.
Be.
Okay? So residences being an average of just 45 square meter. Okay? So is this correct? What do you think?
Yes, that's correct.
Number three,
Number three is
it's correct. It's correct.
no.
Why?
Mm, yeah, yes, it's correct.
Yeah, this one is correct. Okay? So because Hong Kong is just only 45 square meter. Okay, next. What about number four? In
Number four.
comparison, the table illustrates the average house size in all European countries. Look at the
Yes,
word in all
it's
European
right.
countries.
I think it's right. It's all.
Comparison, the table illustrates.
Oh no, in some country.
Okay. In, in, other word for some.
In selected.
Yes. So the right term for not all but selected. selected.
Country.
Okay, selected countries. Okay,
Okay.
next, number 5. In conclusion, when comparing the two graphs. Now, remember this one, Khoi, ha? We're doing the so-called essay. In an essay, we do have the introduction, we have the body, and we have now conclusion. Our introduction is composed of, I guess, 4 to 5 sentences, and our body, okay, is just composed maybe of 3 sentences, 3 to 4 sentences. And our conclusion, of course, is composed of 4 sentences with two paragraphs. Okay, only a little paragraph. Okay. In
Okay.
conclusion, when comparing the two graphs, it is easily apparent that houses in Europe are much smaller than in non-European countries. What do you think?
It's
In
wrong.
conclusion, when comparing the two graphs, it is easily apparent that houses, okay, that houses in
It's
Europe
no. It
are
outside.
much smaller than in the
Non-European
non-European.
country.
Okay, so what do you think would be the correct one? Okay, actually, the most correct one is it is
Outside.
easily apparent that most houses, okay, that
Okay.
most houses in Europe, hello, Koi? Hello?
What?
Can you hear
Wait.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, why is it your camera is off? Okay,
Okay.
yeah, okay. So, Europe, okay, are much smaller than in selected European countries. Okay, so most
Houses. I
houses,
think more houses side.
yeah, so most houses in Europe are much smaller than in European. It should be done in selected non-European countries. So we need to put selected. Okay, in here, selected,
The letters.
okay, non-European countries.
Country.
Okay, next, overall, so overall, Australia has the biggest houses and Italy has the smallest
Houses.
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 So what do you think? Is this correct?
Hmm.
So overall, Australia has the biggest houses and Italy has the
Yes.
smallest.
No, I think. Oh yes, it's true. That
And actually, the smallest
is
is
smallest in Italy.
in,
Oh
in the
no,
table.
that is table that yeah. Hong that Italy.
So that would be, wait,
What?
huh? Australia has the biggest houses and Italy has the smallest. No, Australia is the biggest and Hong Kong.
Hmm.
Okay? It should be Hong Kong. So
Oh,
it's
easily
not
is
Italy.
easily
Okay?
the column.
Yes, so that would be Hong Kong.
Wait.
Okay, because we're talking about the pie graph. Okay? So
Hmm.
not Italy, but Hong Kong is the smallest. Okay, Koi? Okay, so
Okay.
that would be it. Okay, next. Let's try to go to the next one. So for number 5, let's try to, oh, number 4 rather. Did the writer make any other errors not related to data? If so, what were they?
Hmm.
Did the writer make any error of the data?
Yes.
No, actually, okay. The writer did not commit any errors in data. Okay, because the data is 214 square meter, 201 45 square meters, 137 square meters. are all accurate. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So any errors, he wasn't able to she wasn't able to commit any errors with the spelling or punctuation. It's there, it's intact, but should not have included opinions.
Mm.
Okay? Okay. And there would be the so-called, there are some words that it has been actually, maybe it has been made to be corrected. Okay, it has
Yeah.
made to be corrected, but of course, in the in what is one, in writing this one, maybe she wrote this one correctly, but there are some words that we should have to be corrected. Okay, maybe that would be the only mistakes. Okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, yes. Number 5 in here, complete the words with the missing letters. Can you think of any more words for each category, Koi? Okay, number 1. Okay,
Mm.
rice.
To inclusion.
Okay, so that would be
To inclusion.
rice is
Rice. Ah,
okay.
rice. Slang.
Rice is
Rice. Right. Higher.
in crease, right?
Okay.
Okay,
Increase.
next.
wait,
Rice is
wait. Hold on.
yeah. Rice.
Hmm.
There would be a tree, and then you are going to tell the person, okay, rise to the up to the tree, above the tree. So what you're going to say?
Hmm. Rice.
Climb. Okay. Rise is also the same
Yes,
way
I
to
also.
say
Yes, I
climb.
also
You
related
mentioned that?
to flame.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
okay.
correct. But
Next.
also is right.
Aside from climb, aside from increase, rise should be
Go up.
heck. Okay. And then aside from go up,
We got grown up.
uh, this
Grown
one,
up.
uh-huh.
Yes. ROLLUP.
So it could be rocket. Okay, the rocket is rising, right? The
Mhm.
rocket is rising.
Okay.
Next, number
Oh, ah, it
6.
is. I expected.
Number
Um,
6 is
number 6. What do this?
from the word ezo. Okay, followed by A, followed
So,
by R. Soar.
okay.
Okay? Another word for rice koi is soar. Okay? So rise means to increase, to climb, to go up, to rocket, to soar. Okay, koi? So that would be rice. Okay? So we do have um, 5 different words in synonymous to the word rice, right? Okay,
Yes.
Koy? Okay. So, on our next meeting, that would be tomorrow. So, we are going to continue this one. We need to tackle fall and we need to tackle this one. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, question, Koy?
No question.
No more. Okay.
Can
So, thank you
easy.
so much for your time. See you again by tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yes. Goodbye. Have a good night.
Bye. Have a good night. Bye bye.
I'm going to run the bath now.